So some of the latest news to come out from Coachella regarding rock and metal musicians and I suppose people in the industry like Sharon Osbourne. So there has been some controversy going on. Sharon Osbourne slams Irish group over pro-Palestine advocacy at Coachella 2025. So the Irish group Kneecap recently headlines for a very pro-Palestine message during their Coachella 2025 performance. Some backdrops during the band set include Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinian people and fuck Israel, free Palestine, which apparently angered Sharon Osbourne as she took to Instagram to call out Kneecap, as well as the Coachella organizers for not pulling the band during a second performance. Also, Tom Morello comes and speaks out about it, and he's actually acting as a musical director for Black Sabbath's final show, and he's been extremely vocal in his support for Palestine. She goes on to say, Coachella 2025 will be remembered as a festival that compromises moral and spiritual integrity. The festival organizers facilitated this by allowing artists to use the Coachella stage as a platform for political expression. Kneecap took their performance to different levels by incorporating aggressive political statements that actually include projections of anti-Israel messages and hate speech, and band openly support terrorist organizations. This behavior raises concerns about the appropriateness of their participation in such a festival and further shows they are booked to play in the U.S. After witnessing their performance during the first weekend, allowing them to perform again the following weekend suggests support of their rhetoric and a lack of due diligence. She goes on to say, not one IDF soldier was killed that day, just 400 innocent civilians. The independent artist group, Kneecap, includes individuals of Jewish heritage. It's disheartening that they have not used their positions to prevent the promotion of such controversial messages. As someone with both Irish Catholic on my mother's side and Ashkenazi Jew heritage on my father's side, extensive experience in the music industry, I understand the complexities involved. I urge you to join me in advocating for the revocation of Kneecap's work visa. Oosh. I can understand if she's upset, if they are, propagating pro-terrorist support. That's one thing. But that doesn't necessarily equate to being pro-Palestine, you know? If they are actually saying things like that, then that's not great. But there is a such thing as free speech, Sharon. The fact that you're trying to impede on that and ask for the revocation of their work visa is fucking insane, dude. Especially in this climate with Donald Trump just fucking removing people left and right, even if they have viable visas, is fucking crazy. So bad L take from Sharon Osbourne there. I understand with the pro-terrorist stuff, but like I said, if it's just pro-Palestine, I think they did kind of defend themselves. Let me see. They kind of give a little breakdown of things that they've said.
The Palestinians have nowhere to go. It's their fucking home, and they're bombing them from the skies.
This is part of Irish rap band Kneecap's performance at Coachella, which has since gone viral on social media.
If you're not calling it a genocide, what the are you calling it?
The trio also displayed bold messages condemning Israel's war on Gaza and criticizing continued U.S. support for Israel.
Free, free, Palestine! Free, free,
Palestine! The performance sparked immediate controversy, with TV personality Sharon Osbourne calling for the U.S. government to revoke the band's visas, accusing them of hate speech and supporting terrorism. Conservative media outlets and pro-Israeli groups echoed these sentiments, accusing the band of anti-Semitism. Kneecap responded by defending their statements, asserting that their words were not aggressive, murdering children is.
Free Palestine.
Despite facing backlash and death threats, Kneecap has also received widespread support and continues to gain popularity, with their upcoming North American tour nearly sold out.
Yeah, so Mo Chara of the group Kneecap responded, saying, "Her rant has so many holes in it, it hardly warrants a reply, but she should listen to War Pigs that was written by Black Sabbath, her husband." Chara dismissed the idea that Golden Voice was unaware of their political intentions, noting that they've spoken openly about Palestine in every single gig since the band's formation, long before October 2023, as the oppression and brutal occupation in Palestine has been ongoing for 77 years. "We believe we have an obligation to use our platform when we can to raise the issue of Palestine. It's important for us to speak out at Coachella as the USA is the main funder and supplier of weapons to Israel as they commit genocide. As I said from the stage, the U.S. government could stop the genocide tomorrow. It's important that young Americans hear and know it." Char told Rogan some further people can make their own decisions about whether our message is anti-Israel, but for us, it's about government sickening actions, not ordinary people. Our message is about ending genocide and ending the ongoing illegal occupation of Palestine. We want people to take whatever action they can to stop the genocide. People can take what they want from our music. Stopping the genocide is more important. Yeah, I mean, I think ideally, that doesn't really include, like, violence. So, I mean, I believe they've said that they have not supported Hamas or any other sort of violence. Yeah, so they also say, let's be unequivocal. We do not and have never supported Hamas or Hezbollah. We condemn all attacks on civilians always. It is never okay. We know this more than anyone, given our nation's history. Yeah, so as a result, there's been efforts from politicians to have the band removed from festival lineups this summer. They've also already had several of their concerts canceled. Yeah, so Tom Morello actually joined. He signed a letter in support of Kneecap and the freedom of expression after the controversy. Rage Against the Machine guitarist. He joins over 100 artists who have pledged their support for the right to freedom of expression for musicians. The letter is in response to controversy surrounding the Irish hip-hop trio Kneecap. Yeah. The letter Morello signed was issued by Kneecap's record company Heavenly, titled "We Stand for Freedom of Expression." The statement reads, "The past week has seen a clear, concerted attempt to censor and ultimately deplatform the band Kneecap. In Westminster and British media, senior political figures have openly engaged in a campaign to remove Kneecap from the public eye, with veiled threats being made over their scheduled performances at gigs, outdoor events, and musical festivals, including Glastonbury. Chingling is also clear to us that influential figures and personalities within the wider music industry are attempting to influence the campaign of intimidation. As artists, we feel the need to register our opposition to any political repression of artistic freedom." Yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of crazy, for her to call to revoke their visas. I don't think it's a proper response, nor is trying to suppress, like, their voices. You know, obviously, if something that they're saying, you know, might be pro-violence or, you know, pro-terrorism, then, yeah, there's a problem. But I think, I mean, it seems like they acknowledge that is not... it seems like they acknowledge that that's not how they feel, you know? Yeah, lots going on with like, a lot of other people have been making statements, like Green Day, and more other artists like David Draymond, who has been coming out in support of Israel. So yeah, you know, it's a very divisive issue. So Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day had a viral moment at Coachella in which he changed the lyrics of "Jesus of Suburbia" to "running away from pain like the kids from Palestine." Yeah, and David Draymond has been very vocal on social media in his support of Israel since tensions reignited after Hamas militants launched an attack and took hostages at the Tribe of Nova Music Festival east of Gaza in 2023. More than 1,200 people were killed and over 250 hostages were taken by the terrorists in the attack. Among those who lost their lives was former Desolated bassist Jake Morello, who had been working security at the festival. Damn, that sucks. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Since the attack, Israel has countered with a military offense in Gaza, which according to Reuters, as of March of 2025, has killed over 50,000 people. It's fucking insane. Over the years, Green Day have not shied away from making political statements within their music. They've often changed their lyrics to songs to reflect some of the issues of the day. A common change of late has featured Armstrong changing lyrics to American Idiot to share that they're not part of the MAGA agenda. Love that. But within the performance at Coachella, Armstrong weighed in with one of his first reference to ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine. Said he changed the lyrics to running away from pain like the kids from Palestine. And then David Draymond came out shortly after that. Apparently he has publicly reached out to Armstrong through social media. He made an offer to engage in discussion about the ongoing war. He said, I respect you, brother. I'd love to have the opportunity for you to hear the Israeli Jewish side of the horrific war, wrote Draymond on social media. I'm available to discuss whenever you are. No judgment, nothing preconceived. Let me know, he added. Well, at least that's a little bit more centered. He's not, trying to shut him up, necessarily. Although it's like, oh, let's hear this side. I mean, you can sympathize with the Israeli people, obviously the government is a whole other thing, and the IDF. But as far as the people of Israel being in this situation, just civilians in general, you could empathize with them as well as the people of Palestine. Both can be true, David. So, maybe he can hear that side, but doesn't necessarily mean he shouldn't also support the freeing of Palestine. Yeah, so prior to that, of course, Tom Morello has spoken out before. He said the violence and atrocities we're witnessing in Gaza are a continuation of decades of Israel's brutal apartheid and violent occupation of Palestine. We stand with the Palestinian people as they resist colonial terror in all its spans. The band tweeted at the time with a Free Palestine hashtag. They also went on to say, I'd like to make a radical proposal that the harming of children, no matter who they are and no matter who does it, it's always wrong and should be condemned. He also said that there's no room for anti-Semitism amid criticism. I think that's always... Most of these seem pretty centered as far as their takes, except for Sharon. That's kind of going off Sharon. I think David could also afford to have some sympathy for Palestine, Sure, he's allowed to empathize with the side of the Israeli Jewish side, but you should try to, as far as as the citizens go, but obviously, there's some pretty bad shit on both sides, On one side you have Hamas and Hezbollah, on the other side you have the Israeli government, so it's a quite contentious debate that goes among people for this sort of issues. Yeah, at least David's trying to reach out, I think that's what's important, right? Being able to talk to people and have your opinions get across and be able to talk to each other, because that's the only way that really these sort of issues will ever get resolved. I think as long as people just kind of totally choose a side. Obviously, genocide is bad in terms of Israel, but I think overall people want peace. So ideally, these people come together and come to a consensus, come to an agreement. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. I hope they don't get I hope Kneecap doesn't get their work visa revoked. would be kind of pissed at Sharon. I'm already kind of pissed at Sharon for saying that, but if that actually happens, that's incredibly bad. I mean, I think if something happens, like, I think it might be different if, like, a riot happened, you know, if some sort of horrible-ish thing took place, you know. Maybe Danji could say something like that, but not as far as just, you know, bringing attention to the issue. I don't think that is a very fair response at all. It's kind of insane, actually. But, you know, it's getting on in her age, you know. I mean, I understand she has Jewish heritage, so I understand if she might feel offended in some ways, but on the other hand, you gotta be able to come to like a reasonable conclusion here to avoid extreme things like getting fucking deported just for making a political statement at a concert. Come on, people. Also, who came back after so long is Prodigy. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've really been in the scene much since Keith Flint died. Apparently, he took drugs for his death back in 2019. He had unspecified amounts of cocaine, alcohol, and codeine in his system when he died. Damn, I guess he was having a good time. I mean, those aren't the worst things. I think those are pretty common for people to take. But, yeah, altogether, sheesh. I mean, it's kind of a downer and an upper, bro. Two downers. The musician was found at his home in North End, Essex on March 4th. Apparently, the court heard Flint died due to hanging. So apparently they came to a conclusion in his death. There's not enough evidence to say he had intended to take his own life. The inquest heard the musician was found by a friend. That's so sad. I didn't even really know. I saw them come up, and there's a whole other singer, and I'm like, what happened? I must have missed this. Maybe I heard about it, and was just kind of like, I hadn't really listened to Prodigy in years, and I recently started. People are bringing a lot of like 90s back into TV shows and stuff, so when they're doing that, I always hear them play Prodigy. It's just never failed to hear some Prodigy. But yeah, Miss Beasley Murray said we'll never quite know what was going on in his mind that day. Considered suicide. To record that, I would have to have found that on the balance of probabilities. Mr. Flint formed the idea and took a deliberate action knowing it would result in his death. However, in regard to all the circumstances, I don't find there's enough evidence for that. The coroner also said there was insufficient evidence to record the singer's death as an accident where he may have been larking around and went horribly wrong. She told the court Mr. Flint's family and band manager did not wish to attend the inquest. Oh, man, that's sad. One of the greater hits of the 90s Firestarter. But yeah, check it out. I'm sure it's online somewhere. Some more, because I definitely saw some other performances other than that one. Pretty fucking great, if you ask me. But yeah, love Prodigy. I hope more like metal bands and like rock and heavy metal bands get featured at Coachella. I feel like there's never quite enough, right? I mean, they had Green Day, which is more of a punk, but I mean, come on, we deserve to be there too, guys. But yeah, love Prodigy. R.I.P. to Keith Flint.